Herzlich willkommen. Today we are still in a market where Bitcoin is consolidating. We are not showing too much strength while everyone, or at least the regular trader in crypto, wants to be in a position, wants to buy the dip once again. So we're going to cover a little bit of a topic regarding the markets right now, corrections that take place or that happen for at least a while. Later today, we're going to discuss whether you should sell your crypto or not. And we're going to include some interesting topics and I think some free alpha that you should be caring about if you're trading crypto. But we are also launching a new product this day. It's going to be a newsletter which will be produced 3 times a week, mostly regarding TA. Also, one time every 2 weeks, we're going to include a fundamental report or fundamental articles. I'm going to share some alpha with tips and tricks in trading. I'm going to share the charts that I find interesting, market updates. Everything will be included in the newsletter, which will be a beautiful step for new people who have a smaller portfolio to actually get some good content from our entire team, which is easier than jumping into the membership, of course, but it's definitely the first step in improving your own trading and your own investing before you become a member of our platform. So if you don't have that much time on the day, you can just use the newsletter to stay up to date. The link is beneath. The first 3 issues will be completely free, so definitely do not forget to sign up. Subscribe to the newsletter, also subscribe to the YouTube, as that is completely free. Like this YouTube update and don't forget to check out my Twitter and Instagram. A little longer intro this day, but that's because we are launching the newsletter. Now we're going to discuss the markets again. And I've not got the Bitcoin chart up here. I've got the DXY up here, as we can see this massive strength that we've had in the past week, in which the DXY started to run back up. If you recall correctly, Bitcoin also has been making a corrective move during September, right? So if we look back in the period from 6th September to 28th of September, Bitcoin also has been making a correction. Funny enough, during this period, the DXY has been showing strength. So the peak high was here, which was the literal bottom of Bitcoin, while the actual top for Bitcoin from that run back up was around here. Also, since the top of Bitcoin in May, we've seen a reversal of the DXY, and that is actually the opposite of what Bitcoin has been showing. As Bitcoin has been correcting throughout the summer, and then later it started to run back again while the DXY was consolidating. So as a conclusion from that analysis, we can actually say that the moment that the DXY is starting to continue moving upwards, it's usually a period where Bitcoin will be seeing weakness, as the correlation is quite heavy between the two. Same can be said about 2018, 2019, in which the DXY was also accelerating quite fast, while in 2017 the DXY was crashing south, resulting into the opposite of Bitcoin, as Bitcoin has seen that a massive bull market in 2017. So at this stage, how far can the DXY still run? Well, actually, we could still be running until the area approximately 3 to 4% higher. Right now, the strength is just in the dollar, meaning that an asset like Bitcoin has shown weakness and will continue to show weakness until the DXY shows a resistance point, which most likely will be happening somewhere in the coming weeks. But at least right now we can see this uptrend of the DXY taking place. So coming back to the earlier question of Bitcoin at this point and when you should be chasing a trade, the fact is that corrections take time. So corrections have multiple waves that they go through. They are also quite painful overall in the sense of they are usually when nobody expects it, as everyone or most of the markets are long. We've recalled that in May, we've seen that in September too. And right now we can also say that At least a big portion of the markets were assuming that we're getting into a parabolic movement, but right now we are not seeing that at all. Looking at the weekly for Bitcoin, this seems quite fair, to be honest. After those relatively weak weekly candles which were green but not showing too much strength, it is quite normal to have this correction taking place. The crucial levels I've discussed. I'm not going to recall that right now. But what is most likely going to take place at this point when it comes to Bitcoin? Well, there is a few important levels that we should be watching if we want to start assessing a potential bounce play. We know that the entire region that we have here around 57k is a very important one. We also know that we've got this bearish divergence, and we also know that the critical zone that we should be holding on to is this block around 42k. So if we go back in history, we can see that we've had a drop south, we bounce back up, reject previous resistance and drop further south, in which we cascaded even lower than we wanted. Second example is run back up for approximately 50 days, drop, reject previous resistance and starts to drop south, after which we chop around for a little bit and then we start reversing. Right here, we could be saying that we've had a crash south, bounce back up, reject previous resistance and come back down towards support. So definitely we're getting into a region where you want to become interested when it comes to the markets. But if we're going to lose this 57k level, we might be assessing ourselves in a drop towards 50 to 52k, this entire region. That would also make sense in which we are going to continue moving towards the 1.618 Fibonacci level, whether or not we're going to have a deeper wick into the support here, and then we get a second wave of corrections in which we get a movement like this before we start the second wave of the bull cycle at this point. Because you should be knowing or should be assuring yourself, markets are probably not going to do a 4-year cycle anymore. We are probably going to see a lengthening cycle. So the two crucial levels that you're looking at with Bitcoin at this point are these two. So this region between 56 to 58 is definitely where I want to start looking interested into any potential trades for the short term. Crucial resistance zones are still unchanged. It is still the level that we have between 62 to 63. Most likely it even has to break 63 and a half actually. But I'm not like that bearish. I'm assuming we're going to get a move back up, a bounce back up if the dollar is going to consolidate for a little, and we're going to hold the support zone. And after that, the question will become whether we're going to smack through support in that double test. Usually you will see multiple tests of support before we're going to bottom out. We've seen it in May and July. We've also seen it here, double tests. We're most likely going to see it here too, in which we are double testing support before we're going to make any reversal. So that's going to be the question. But first we're determining where we're going to find support today or in the coming days. And if we find support, we most likely get a bounce back up. And then the crucial level is 63.4 to see that sustain. As stated yesterday, if you want to get into the markets right now, or if you want to get into the markets, these corrections, and especially the first zone here, is already a level where you want to start accumulating. If you've missed the video, it's on there. Yesterday I've posted it with a full analysis and strategy on how to buy into the markets at this point. So it's quite clear, to be honest. Looking at the lower time frames, I'll just zoom in on the 4-hour. What we see is that we're still not breaking the range resistance, right? So the entire region around 60.8, which is overall an entire level that I'm finding very important to break through. You can see the price has been bouncing around that region for a while. We did not crack at this stage. While we do have this support, we might even go all the way back down, create a lower time frame bullish divergence, and then we can make ourselves a relief rally all the way towards 63k. And then the ultimate question becomes whether we're going to break it or not. So I hope you have enjoyed this update. I'll be back later today with a question on how to whether you should sell your crypto or not. Do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Do not forget to check out the link for the newsletter. The first 3 issues will be free. And also do not forget to check me out on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you again later today.